BMW the tribute it deserves, Motorfest welcomes the spokesperson of BMW Group Classic. Let's meet him together.
Hello, my name is Mark. I'm the spokesperson of BMW Group Classic. If you buy a BMW, in my perspective, you want to drive, you want to feel the drive, you want to have a sheer driving machine. You feel it and you love it and you don't want to stop it because it's so cool. It's always on the edge, but you have to be able to handle it.
Three legendary letters. BMW. A playlist to discover what ultimate driving feels like. The next objective. I noticed you recently bought the BMW M Hybrid. V8. That sports car certainly sets the tone for the first event. But that's not the first vehicle you're going to drive in this race. Motorfest and BMW have something else in mind, something truly special. The Hanoma racetrack. You're about to discover one of the most legendary cars in BMW history. It's so famous that it literally earned a place in a museum.
Talking about the most favorite car is very difficult because the heritage is so amazing. But if you ask me for my personal opinion, it should be a BMW 3.0 CSL. And it was the very first car, the BMW Motorsport GmbH, tuned for professional racing. In every facet it's very interesting and amazing. It was, for example, the most successful touring car of the 1970s. It was the very first car to wear the famous M stripes. So this is the real starting point of the whole legacy of BMW M. This is such a great heritage and legacy.
All right, let's do this. Eyes up, stay focused, and put in the best possible performance. You've got to live up to this car's reputation. She's a legend, you know. Okay. It's probably something you hear quite a lot at Motorfest, I know, but you gotta believe me. After BMW became popular in the 60s, their cars were more and more used by private motorsport teams, but they still didn't have their own racing division. So they started one in 1972. They called it BMW Motorsport, simply BMW M now. And that was their first car, the 3.0 CSL. And I mean, what a car. First off, she's absolutely stunning. Look at the iconic M colors on her body. Look at her shapes. Look at the perfection of her design. And more importantly, she's so light and powerful, she won 6 consecutive European Championship titles. Yeah. She's the most impressive of her times, and I can't believe how lucky you are to feel her in action on such a beautiful racetrack. Oh, and I'm Anna, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I've been racing professionally for what, like 10 years now? More if you count the karting when I was a teen. As you may have guessed, I have a soft spot for BMW. That's why I've been asked to host this playlist. I've never raced for them officially, though, but life's long, so who knows? And here we go. I bet you didn't expect to ride a motorcycle for the second lap, did you? But actually, bikes are a really important part of BMW history. Did you know the first ground vehicle they ever built was actually a motorcycle? It was in 1923. Yeah, I know I sound nerdy right now. The one you're riding is the S1000RR. It's what we call a superbike. Superbikes are extremely powerful, technologically advanced motorcycles that are relatively light for the speed they can reach. They're designed for both track and road use. And yours is the 2015 edition of the S1000RR. It's still pretty great, as you can see for yourself, but since then, they've released many more powerful editions. Finally, the BMW M Hybrid V8. What a beast. Released in 2023, this car has been built for endurance races, such as the 24 Hours of Le Mans, my area of expertise. An endurance car has to strike the right balance between performance and stability. They must go as fast as possible and yet be able to hold up over time. And the same goes for you. If you're the racer inside the car, you must stay at the top of your game for a very long time, while constantly making strategic choices. But today we're only doing a short race, so never mind that. Just focus on being the best. The hybrid V8 will do the rest. That's it for the first glimpse into BMW's history. A real time travel.
CSL was the big surprise of the first event. Did you enjoy driving it? I'm sure you did. Let's go to Maui, where the rest of the playlist will take place. Lady, don't you think? She probably won't tell you this, but she really insisted on hosting this playlist. She even chose all the vehicles you're going to drive. I guess everyone has a favorite brand. In fact, Motorfest initially wanted her to host a more motorsport-oriented playlist, but she refused, arguing that BMW is actually all about motorsport and performance. That sounds promising. Plenty of BMW vehicles to discover together, and and I think Mark wants to share a few words about the next one.
The BMW 3 Series is the core product of the BMW AG. It's all we are talking about. And the BMW M3 E30 is the peak development of this whole series. If you talk about the sport evolution, it's a very special car. It was much more lighter than the normal BMW M3. It has more horsepower. And it was only available in 2 colors. So these are all aspects which make the car very special.
Now with the M3, we're touching on an important part of BMW's history, the 3 Series, the face of the brand. So as you may know, since the early 70s, BMW has been dividing its models into 8 different series. The 3 is without question the most popular of them all. The one you're driving is the E30. It's the second in this prestigious line, and an instant hit in 1982. Not just for car enthusiasts, no, but for the mass market as well. They sold over 2 million. That's huge, especially since they weren't cheap. But this car deserved it. She truly did. For sure, it was the most powerful sedan available at the time. So, when BMW Motorsport needed to put a new car on the track, it was obvious they would create one based on the E30 and make it even better. And that's how we got the first M3 ever. We spoke earlier of the success of the 3.0 CSL, but it was nothing compared to what this car achieved. She's simply the most successful touring car in motorsport history. She has more than 1,400 victories. yeah, I promise you. She won everything. Rallying, endurance racing, but also BMW's most beloved tournaments. The DTM, the German Touring Car Championship. The funny story is that BMW had to build 5,000 street-legal cars and sell them to the public just so they could compete. And they did it. But they were skeptical at first because they thought it would never sell. Of course, they were wrong. They've sold 3 times more than expected.
It this time.
Whatever the model, the E30 has left its mark on a generation. She's loved by underground communities for tuning, for drifting, but you can even see her on album covers and rap videos. She's a cultural phenomenon. wonderful to see this car taking over the roads of Maui.
You know where to find me, driver. Next activity, set it. It's time to continue our journey into BMW's history. This time we're going for a BMW Z. Do you know what the Z stands for? It means Zukunft, future in German. I guess it's BMW's way of promising they'll always keep innovation and experimentation in sight. Here we are. No special words from Mark, but don't worry, Anna has a lot to say about this car.
The Z4. For a few moments, let's put aside vehicles designed for extreme racing and enjoy just driving for the pleasure of driving. Well, I mean, you still have an aggressive opponent in this race, of course. Where's the fun without one? BMW Z models are what we call roadsters. Two-seaters made for relaxing behind the wheel, appreciating the scenery and the thrill of speed. And look at that. We just have the perfect spot and the perfect weather to enjoy this ride. The only thing you're missing is the wind in your hair. But you are driving a coupe cabriolet, so I guess you could theoretically enjoy the open air if you wanted to. Your car is the Z4 E89, a very cool model for two major reasons. Number one, it's the very first BMW to have been designed by two women, Juliana Blasi for the exterior and Nadia Arnaut for the interior. They wanted to break the classic roadster image with a car inspired by the human body, athletic and beautiful, designed for all driving enthusiasts. And number two, the E89 has indeed been adapted into a real racing car, the famous, beautiful, and successful Z4 GT3. That's an obvious part of my passion for this car. I own the car you're driving. And did I forget to tell you that? I know what you're thinking, it's not as sporty as the others. And that's true, but on weekends, where I'm far away from the races, it's the perfect car for open roads. Creators described her as an expression of freedom. Would you say the same?
event is going to be really different from the previous ones. Motorfest really wanted to show how diverse and surprising BMW can be. I won't say more, except that you'll have to go to the top of the mountain to see the starting grid. And you'll see, the beginning of this race is going to be memorable.
That's what I call a jump. I'm glad you survived that one. Hold on tight. The descent ahead is more dangerous than it looks. Awesome! It's for these unique moments that we all like to go off-roading from time to time. I gotta admit, it's not where I'm at my best, but I really wanted to get off the beaten track at least once during this playlist. BMW and off-roading have a strong history. They were famous in the Dakar Rally in the 80s, and they've been building bikes designed for the wilderness ever since. Your ride is one of them. It's an R1200 GS, and at BMW, every bike marked with the GS letters is a bike made for adventure. And adventures, they can happen anywhere, you know? On the edge of the unknown, or just down the street from your house. So they need to be prepared for every occasion. They're built for both city riders and budding explorers. Well, to be fair, this one's being prepped by Motorfest, so it's a little more suited for the extreme conditions than the ones you could find in a regular shop. But you see what I mean. Another great race. You're not doing too bad.
anytime. Our next race will be once again focused on BMW M vehicles. Speaking of which, do you know where the famous M colours come from? That combination of blue, purple and red? In the 1970s, BMW Motorsport wanted the American oil company Texaco as one of their sponsors. So, to win them over, they incorporated Texaco's red to the design of their first cars. When the deal was rejected, they decided to improve their livery by adding an extra blue line, the official colour of Bavaria, home of BMW. Then, to complete it, they finally added a purple line in between. And just like that, the BMW M colours came to life. Of course, nowadays, BMW says that the red colour stands for motorsport, not for Texaco. But I'm sure you'll think of it the next time you see the M logo.
Up against BMW's finest, a collection of some of the latest M models. See that white car? That's an M8, a 625 horsepower monster made for everyday use. And the dark gray one over there? An M5 TS. We'll talk about her later, but let's just say that this series has been producing missiles since the 70s and is not about to stop. The other ones are M2s and M4s. They come from series born in 2013 and 2014. Racing them is gonna be tough. The road is narrow with a lot of sharp bends and not many places to accelerate. Overtaking here is a challenge. You have to use the occasional straights with guts and confidence. Clearly my kind of track. To give you a fair chance of winning, we put you behind the wheel of the fastest production car BMW has ever made, the M4 CSL. Yeah, you heard me, a CSL. BMW only made 3 of these in 50 years. The first one was the 3.0 you drove earlier, and this is the third. And to make it even more prestigious, you can even notice a special emblem on her body celebrating BMW M's 50th anniversary. So the real question is, does she live up to the CSL legacy? Well, she hits 200 kilometers per hour in only 10 seconds and holds the BMW record on the famous Nürburgring circuit. What more is there to say? You better win with a car like that.
Let's just rewind.
CSL, competition, sport, and lightweight. I hope you felt that DNA at every turn.
Wonderful race, driver. Now let's head to Maui's volcano for the next event. Driving the i8, the first plug-in hybrid sports car to go into series production. It's still as impressive as it was 10 years ago, but I'll let you be the judge of that.
Okay, be careful. This outrun requires your utmost concentration. One mistake or two, and you're sure to lose. Stay sharp. I won't distract you too much, but I still gotta talk about that spaceship you're driving. Yeah, I'm sorry to call it that, but I'm sure you were thinking the same thing. And hey, I don't mean it in a bad way. I love the way she looks. The BMW i8 is a car that stands out from the crowds. It's actually hard to believe she's indeed a production car and not just a concept. Like, it's crazy how futuristic she looks, even though she was revealed more than 10 years ago. The contrast of her colors highlights all her curves. And there's something about the way she's shaped that makes her intriguing and elegant at the same time. I'm glad the sun hasn't fully risen yet, because I find her even more beautiful at night. Those U-shaped taillights give her so much personality. You might be wondering what's the story behind that car. Well, it all goes back to the early 2010s when BMW I was created to develop a range of electric and hybrid vehicles within the brand. Only 2 models came out of it, the compact i3 and the i8, the sports car you're driving. There were never any others because they updated their strategy. Rather than creating a separate lineup, they now implement their technologies into their main series. A smart move, I guess. But I would have loved to see more cars like this one. I knew the clock wouldn't outrun you.